Hey, what's up? This is PJ Jacobson. Make sure you watch MotoAmerica on YouTube and you like and subscribe.
Welcome back to MotoAmerica Live Plus. Michael Hill, Roger Hayden and Jason Weigert bringing you live coverage from the latest round of the 2022 MotoAmerica Championships. Next up on track will be the Yuasa Stock 1000s. Rog, I made it back just as all carnage was kicking off there for the North America Talent Cup. The good news is, though, as you and Jason said, that all of those riders involved will now get a few hours just to calm the nerves, regroup, and they'll get their race done later in the day.
Yeah, and also for Jaden Fernandez, maybe he can actually get back in the race as well. Those kids, that's why we have that class, for these kids to come here and learn and make those mistakes and get them over with before you move up into professional ranks.
It is a beautiful sunny day, a little bit of a breeze. It's a welcome breeze out there. If you were watching us earlier walking around the paddock, a lot of fans here. We did just see a shot there of the fans in the bleachers, and look at the paddock. Roger, this is one of the beauties of the MotoAmerica Championship. Fans have pretty much full access, even dogs as well.
Yeah, just the whole family atmosphere. It's, pulling in today, I was kind of surprised. I've seen so many cars, a lot more motorhomes this year all around this whole track. So it's awesome to see, and I think it's just, you come here, the access you get to the teams and the riders is something that you can't get anywhere else.
Let's have a look then at what is still in store on MotoAmerica Live Plus here on the first race day at the Ridge. The first race day with fans. We have Medallia Superbike. We had that, should I say, earlier on today. Twins Cup, we've had that. The North America Talent Cup has been pushed back to later in the day. So our first racing action, fingers crossed, will be Yuasa Stock 1000. That's getting underway in a little under 10 minutes time. Supersport Race 1. And then the big one, Medallia Superbikes. Can Jake Gagne convert his pole position to another race win? It doesn't stop there, though. There's more action here at the Ridge. STG Juniors, their first race of the weekend, the first of 2 races for Twins Cup as well. And then not sure how the North America Talent Cup race will slot in, but we imagine it will be at some point after the Twins Cup race. And Roger, great to see that all classes here get 2 races. We normally only see the STG Juniors, the Medallia Superbike and the Supersports with 2. Fans then taking every opportunity in the vantage point. Let's have a look then at the championship standings for the Yuasa Stock 1000s. It is a closely fought fight. Look at how close it is. You get 25 points for a win. And there's only 26 points between the top 7. Roger, this is anyone's.
Yeah, top 6 is all within one race, and it's just been so competitive. Everybody's had their issues and kind of had to give away race. And now, we'll see the second half of the season. We're right at the midway point. Who can make the least amount of mistakes toward the end of the year?
A couple of riders that we won't be seeing here. Stefano Mesa not here. Maximiliano Girardo not here. Not sure why Max is not here, but he's not. So it's looking as though potentially Hayden Gillam, Travis Wyman, Jeff May, Corey Alexander. A little bit further back, Hunter Dunham, Danilo Lewis, Ezra Bobia, who we spoke to a little bit earlier on, and Jeremy Coffey, who got his best qualifying of the season so far. And it doesn't matter, Roger, whether you're at the front or the back. There are so many stories throughout the grid, not just in Stock 1000, but in all classes. But this one is wide open.
Yeah, like we said, we've seen the top 6 guys all within one race. The most consistent person has been Jeff May. He doesn't have that race win, but he hasn't made a lot of mistakes, been on the podium or near it almost every race. And I think that's, for him, kind of been his goal. And, this championship's going to go down to the wire.
It is indeed one of the riders that a lot of our British fans will be maybe more familiar with than some of the other names. Brandon Pash, he's riding for the Altus Motorsports team. And of course, Altus Motorsports, as we see Travis Wyman there on the Titleist Racing Ride HVMC BMW getting ready to come out. Pit lane is open. It's a quick start procedure, we are being told, courtesy of the delays that we had a little bit earlier. There's Hunter Dunham coming out on track as well on the number 17, one of a couple of Yamahas on the grid. And the Altus Motorsport team, defending champions, looking for 3 on the bounce with Brandon Pash. Andrew Lee not racing in Stock 1000 anymore. He was, of course, champion twice in 2018 and 2019. I think Andrew Lee's racing in baggers now, if memory serves.
He has been racing in baggers.
Yeah. So this is a quick start procedure. What does that mean? It basically means the pit lane is open for 60 seconds. The riders will circulate this 2.47 mile circuit just outside of Seattle. They'll line up on the grid. There will be no umbrella girls, there'll be no teams and tyre warmers. They'll be stationary until every single rider is in place. They'll then go on a warm-up lap, and then it will be lights out for 12 fast and furious laps. Fastest man in qualifying, Corey Alexander, a 141.5, decimating the lap record. On paper, Roger, it looks like it's his race to lose, but this is Stock 1000. As I said, anything can happen.
Yeah, this year, so many races this year, we thought that, you know, somebody was going to win pretty easy. Turns out the race is totally different. I think that's going to be the same for today.
So the riders then making their way through 6 manufacturers on the grid. Lots to look forward to.
MotoAmerica Stock 1000 coverage is sponsored by Yuasa Battery. It starts with us. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance.
Riders then arriving to the grid, but one rider that we do not see on track, Roger, is the 94 Danilo Lewis, and there he is on screen now. He's being held by the flag marshal. He wasn't ready in time. He has not completed the sighting lap. He should be okay to start the warm-up lap, though. Will that mean he is at the back of the grid?
He'll have to start at the back of the grid.
Oh, all that hard work, and Danilo Lewis, who qualified in 9th position, that third row start, now puts him at the back of the grid. There's a lot of work to do from there. Got a glimpse there of the 42 of Jeremy Coffey, his best qualifying. And they still hold Danilo Lewis, the yellow flag in the back of the picture. There is the man of the moment then, Corey Alexander, the winner of the opening round of the championship. A spill at VIR, but he bounced back in style, didn't he, Roger, with a pretty sensational win on a bike that was only rebuilt literally minutes before lights out at Road America. He's looking for his 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, and just been, you know, the races he hasn't had any issues. He's been at the front, and this weekend just been consistently putting in so many good laps. He's been in this class for a while now, and I think he's kind of really coming into his own. Isaiah Davis here, 79. This is his first race in Stock 1000 CW Moto team. Been in the top 10 in all the other sessions, fell back to 11th, but still really good, you know, showing so far for that team and for him being in his first time on the Stock 1000 class.
Yeah, and a very recognizable color scheme as well, which always helps, because I'm as blind as a badger, so nice to see the color scheme there. Another equally bright livery of the 69 of Hayden Gillam, the current leader of the championship by the smallest of margins. 2 wins, 2 podiums for Gillam. Travis Wyman yet to take a victory this season, but he does have 3 podiums under his belt, as does Jeff May. Roger pointing out that Jeff May, the most consistent, arguably, of the riders in the top 3. Corey Alexander, 2 podiums. When he's finished on the podium, he's won.
Pretty good record.
It's not bad, 100%.
And the really only issue that Jeff May has had this year was that somebody's crashed on the warm-up lap, maybe 2 guys.
Oh, and who is that? That is Jeff May. What has happened at turn 1? Hayden Gillam is off, and there's a number of bikes on the floor. What has happened at turn 1? One of the riders still down. Jeff May coming across, and that is 48 that's gone down as well.
Looks like 48.
It's not. It's 40. Is that 42? That's not
42.
Is that Jeremy Coffey?
It's Coffey.
That's the 2nd time here when we've talked about him having a good qualifying and it's gone wrong, and he hasn't even made it to the start. So once again, we've had drama in the opening race of the day. That's why we had a small delay, and we've had drama again. You can see Jeff May, the airbag has gone off there as well, and we are for sure now going to have a delay to the start of this Stock 1000
and we
race.
were just talking about how Jeff May's been so consistent besides that one race at Road Atlanta when he had a mechanical issue which caused him to crash.
Let's have a look then at what happened. They go down into turn 1.
Oh! Somebody, looks like maybe Coffey just got in too deep on the inside.
You see the dust up in the air. Let's watch this from another angle. And it looked like it was Coffee, didn't it? It looked like Coffee was just out of control and unfortunately wipes out Jeff May. We were just saying the most consistent rider of the season. Commentators, because he's another replay. Oh, Jeff May didn't even realize he was there. There was nothing that Jeff May could do. Hayden Gillam takes avoiding action at the start of the warm-up lap, and drama aplenty here. Well, we said there was going to be drama after lights out. There's drama before the start. Good to see that Jeremy Coffey is up. That is good to see. And so, again, if you are just joining us, there is Jeff May walking back. We are under red flag conditions. If you are just joining us on MotoAmerica Live Plus, that was the start of the warm-up lap for the Yuasa Stock 1000. Jeff May, that machine damaged. Now you can see the clutch lever bending down on the left-hand side. His airbag now is deflated, so at least he'll be able to breathe a little bit easier. But the question now for Jeff May is, can they get that fixed? And now he's keen. He wants to run, wants to get that bike back. New fairing, bit of work to do. I guess it depends how long this red flag is going to run for.
The left clip one for sure has to be probably the #1 priority. It just looked like, you know, we talk about that tight chicane, how that can cause so many incidents even during the race on the start, but even on the warm-up lap. But it looked like when Jeremy Coffey was going in there, he got in a little deep. But I think the person in front of him broke a little sooner than he expected. So he let off the brakes and went a little bit left, and at that point, you know, he was just in way too deep and a little aggressive for the warm-up lap first corner.
Yeah, I take your point. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this again, Roger. This is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the guy before him, I think, broke a little sooner than he thought. But see how he's all the way up inside the curb. He knows he's in too deep.
Yeah. What an unfortunate
Man, he was
incident.
having such a good weekend.
He was,
too.
wasn't he? He really, really was. And unfortunately, he goes down. Jeff May would not have expected that. Now the MotoAmerica guys come in, and now the team get involved as well. And that just allows Jeff now just to compose himself. What's going through his mind right now, apart from a few expletives that we obviously can't talk about? But what else is going through his mind?
Well, I'm sure he's just, you know, when it's not your fault, you know, it definitely stings a little bit worse. He's probably a little bit sore. That was a pretty good impact, and he knows he doesn't want to spot these guys a race, and it's going to hurt his championship.
Yeah, JW, you're down there. You probably could hear the scrapes and the scratches from where you were stood. We did see you on the camera in the pit lane. What's the word on the street as Jeff May is heading your way, buddy?
Yeah, the clip-on is definitely gone on the left side. You see Jeff May go by. He's going to try. They're going to try. They ran all the way down. They literally ran on foot all the way down from the starting point in the grid to where that chicane begins, which is a long sprint. They pushed the bike backwards to get it back here as quickly as possible. And you saw Jeff showing off his cardio as well as he ran his way all the way back from where that chicane is and where they are pitted, which is a pretty good distance. They would not be working that hard and running if they didn't think that every second counted, as in they think this is fixable and they figured their race was run. I guarantee they wouldn't be trying this hard. So we'll get over there. We'll look. It's the left side of the bike. As you can see, the clip-on is damaged. And they've just got to go to work as quickly as they can. And this is always one of those situations where now you're just going to chase the gremlins. They can fix what's obvious, but they got to hope that there's some other stuff that they don't miss while they're working on it. So they've been given the gift of a restart and a red flag. But here is the question. Are they going to be able to fix this, A, enough to get them on the grid, and B, are there going to be other problems that they don't even realize they're going to have? And now I can see they're taking the tail section off the bike to try to figure out if there's any other problems beyond the obvious stuff with the clip-on. I'll try to get in here and talk to Jeff if we can. Let's see if we can get a word in with Jeff May. Can you chat? Let's bring it on in here. We got Jeff May, and that was a wild situation. Jeff, from what we could tell, I don't know if you even knew what was happening. Did you just get completely blindsided there?
Yeah.
Any idea?
I got hit hard from the left side. Somebody ran into me like they had no brakes, and it was quite a hit. Airbag went off just from the hit itself before I even hit the ground. And my hand's hurting pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. See if the guys can get the bike back together.
If the hand hurts, if the bike gets back together, you're going to give it a run. Physically, you're enough?
My hand works, so. And we got quick shifters on these things, so all I got to do is let the clutch out. I'm good.
All right, always looking at the bright side. Any idea? Obviously, the clip-on's damaged. Anything else that you're worried about, or is it mostly the clip-on?
No, I mean, it took a hard hit on the left side, but it's just pretty much looks like the clip-on and one, the switches for the left side for the mode switches.
Yep.
So if they can if they can get a handlebar and switch on there, I think we might be okay.
And how much energy you have left after running like a football player from end zone to get back down here?
Oh man, we trained hard. That was just a short little sprint, so you know, I'm used to running for 30, 40, 50 minutes.
Okay. Well, he's got plenty left in the tank if the bike can be fixed, thanks to the time Jeff May. So there it is. The pressure is on, and they just yelled 2 minutes down here. So the clock is ticking, and there's not a lot of time left, boys. This is going to be really interesting. And how about that? We were just talking about in a class that's had a lot of ups and downs. Jeff has arguably been the most consistent in this class, and now a situation that was not his fault might make a huge difference in the standings.
Even if you don't make that first restart, you still got to keep working on it in case the same thing happens again.
Right.
You know, and we've seen in the Talent Cup, you know, a couple red flags. So even if you don't make this first restart, the guys just got to keep digging, and you know, maybe another red flag will come out and be another restart, and it'll give you some more time.
Right, we're being told that this will be a 10-lap restart, or 10-lap rerun, should I say. They now bring out the new fairing is coming out. They are working hard here. This is good work from the Vision Wheel Honda team. They have a minute until the pit lane opens. It's still not lost at that point, though, Roger. They still have the couple of minutes to go around. The corner workers still working down there. You could see, obviously, the concern from Jody, Jeff's wife, but no real cause for concern. As he said, the arm works, so we're good to go if they can fix it.
And as a rider, it is really nerve-wracking when you see your mechanics thrashing like that, because all it was going to take is one mistake and it could be huge. So you're watching 3 different guys working on your bike really quick. It definitely doesn't, you know, you do have trust in your team, but you see how fast they're trying to work. You know, it could be a mistake, so it makes you a little bit nervous as a rider when you see them, you know, really, you know, working that hard, that fast.
Yeah, we saw on the 2-shot there on the right-hand side of the screen, ladies and gents, a bit of work going on by the marshals, but that was basically off the track, wasn't it? That's where the bikes ended, so that wasn't on the actual racing track or the racing line as the bikes now work. You see where the marshals are there, Roger? That's not an issue for going into the chicane. That's actually where the bikes sort of slid to a halt, but obviously they're trying to make sure that if another rider went down, that there's no debris down there, but that's what that is. Not too much of a concern.
No, and also they want to make sure it's somewhat safe in case somebody does run straight through that chicane, but I think where it's at, they're going to be okay, and they're just going to use this extra lap as long as they can to work on it. And I think if that was the only thing they needed to work on, they would have probably been ready a couple minutes ago.
Now, obviously from the Jeff May fans that are watching around the world, if he does get this fixed and he gets out there, Roger, he will not be able to start from the second row of the grid. It looks like they are going to get this fixed. You can see Teague down there from MotoAmerica, one of the technical directors, checking that everything is okay. They're now putting the bottom half of the belly pan on, and you can see, look, they're frantically trying to get all of these little pieces together, the little fasteners as well. They've still got time, but he's going to be at the back of the grid. Great work by the boys,
Yeah,
I've got to say. 4.5 minutes, they're doing a really good job. Doesn't matter a little bit of little bashes left and right. Nothing to worry about. The main thing is that he can make this race and add some points. Points make prizes, Roger. He might maybe only salvage half a dozen, but that could make the difference at the end of the season.
I mean, he's only 6 points out right now, so that just goes to show you, you know, if you can get 6 points, that could be the difference at the end of the year between first and second, or second and third.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see then when the lights go out. And of course, we don't wish any misfortune on anybody else, but other things can happen to his rivals. Technicals, running off the track, anything can happen. Those 6 points might mean he still leaves this place as a championship leader.
No tire warmers also, so that's one thing you'll have to... Luckily, it's a pretty warm day, and you know, the track temperature's up by quite a bit. You know what? I'll be honest with you, I didn't think they were going to make it. I'm pretty
For sure. It was a tall order. The riders then coming down to the start line. We're going to try this one again for the second time of asking. We are going to set these riders off on a warm-up lap, the quick start procedure. You can see there just the single mechanic on the grid pointing their rider to their grid slot. No changes to the grid, with the exception of, for this guy here, he will have to go to the back of the grid, but at least he'll get the warm-up lap.
Yeah, and you know, even if he doesn't get the warm-up lap, all these guys have another lap, so they still have essentially 2.5, 3 more minutes to keep working on the spike.
One rider that had a problem before the first restart was Danilo Lewis. He now can start from 9th on the grid because there was a red flag, and you can see there the 94 Danilo Lewis. So it's like all of his Christmases have come at once, and he gets the second bite of the cherry, which is what we're just talking about for Jeff May. So it's played into Danilo's hands perfectly.
And that's just the way red flags are. Sometimes they help you, other times, you know, it could hurt you, but that's just part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we try again then. The riders are flagged off on a green flag lap. We head down towards the chicane, and next time of asking, it will be red lights on, lights out, and racing. Yuasa Stock 1000. 2 races this weekend, and Jeff May has made it. He is back on the circuit. Great work for the Vision Wheel Honda team. And now Jeff just needs to take his time, make sure everything is bedded in, as the riders then will be ready for lights out. Let's have a look at the grid then. This is the way that they will form up today and tomorrow. Corey Alexander smashes the lap record in qualifying, a 1:41.531, the fastest ever lap on Stock 1000. It would have put him on the second row of the grid after first qualifying in Superbike. That is just how fast Corey Alexander has been here. Alexander, the double winner last year. Travis Wyman, his teammate, heads row number 2. Jeff May will not start from 5th on the grid. He will now start at the back. Row 3 will not see Jeremy Coffey. He was one of the other riders on the floor. Ezra Bobier in 10th position, ahead of Isaiah Davis, as Roger said, his first full season in MotoAmerica, and doing a really, really good job in 11th, ahead of Nolan Lampkin. As the rest of the runners and riders, Hunter Dunham, Anthony Norton, Steve Shakespeare in 17th place. Zach Schumacher, a rider that went down yesterday, and in the back row of the grid, Cody Cochran and David Limbert. Jay, you're down there in the pits. You were watching that firsthand. How are the team feeling? And firstly, of course, congratulations to them. Great work to get Jeff May back on track.
Yeah, absolutely. They did their job. The first thing they worked on was the clip-on and all the switches and wiring that attached to that, and then it was on to the cosmetics with the fairing. They said, honestly, they're not too worried. They think the bike is as good as it's going to get. They're not worried about it breaking again. Obviously, with the fairing just being taped on, it might not be the most ideal from a cosmetic or maybe even aerodynamic standpoint. But the concern now is, you remember when we talked to Jeff, his hand is hurting a little bit. So they basically said, we think the bike's as good as it needs to be and as good as it's going to get, but we're just concerned about him. Adrenaline's flowing, right? So you have a crash early, you say your hand bothers you a little bit, maybe it doesn't seem like it's that bad, but we got to do 10 more laps. So they're more concerned about him from a physical standpoint than they are mechanically. They think they have the bike back where it needs to be.
Thanks, Jay. You saw there, Roger, just a little tap on the shoulder from Hayden Gillam. Hayden Gillam was in the front row, wasn't he? He saw everything that happened then. He just gave a little tap to his rival for the championship. There he is, 69, coming down onto the front row of the grid. And there's a lot of camaraderie between these riders, Roger. They're all obviously wanting to win races, but Hayden Gillam there just checking in on his rival to make sure he was okay. Green flag at the back of the grid. There you can see the 99 right at the back. He's got a lot of riders to overtake. Watch for the lights. We are about to go racing proper. Stock 1000, lights on, lights out, away we go, and a great start from Debrino. A wheelie in the middle there from Isaiah Davis, and it looks as though Jeff May's already making up places as we come down into turn 1. Corey Alexander converts that pole position into the lead. Did they all safely make it through? Looks as though we got away with it.
Yep, and Hayden Gillam did not get a very good start. He's already fallen back to about 6th or 7th. Brandon Posh, great start, good qualifying for him. First time we've seen him toward the front all season.
Yeah, Brandon Pash, the double winner of the Daytona 200, former frontrunner in Supersport, both here and in the UK in BSB. He's up into the top 6 already. Jeff May had made a couple of places as Debrino takes a sniff on the inside of Corey Alexander. Alexander slams the door in his face. There's no way through in these early stages. It's a 10-lap race, a little bit shorter, and as we've said, Roger, it's very much a one-line circuit. If someone is going to make a move, it's going to have to be hard but fair.
Yeah, and it's going to be in some of these corners where you drift up in the middle. You know, if you set up wide on entry and really kind of block past them, that's the best way to pass. Another spot for that we'll see is right through here at turn 11. You'll see how Corey drifts up a little bit. If you're quicker behind him, you can kind of get up the inside. But Corey knows the first lap. close them doors and then set his pace and see if he can't pull away. He knows he has the speed to get away.
Yeah, Corey Alexander has got the hammer down. We've seen a couple of attempts in the early corners from De Brino, a circuit specialist, we should say. He's done a lot of laps around here, and the local rider doing a good job in second place. Third, it said at the start, was Hayden Gillam. He's not there anymore. I'm trying to see who that is. Is that the 55 of Michael Gilbert, I think, actually, that has moved up into third? A great opening lap for Gilbert, who's ahead of Travis Wyman. Then it's Hayden Gillam, and Brandon Pash is going to end lap 1 in 6th. Down the straight, in towards lap number 2. Let's see across the line, where is Jeff May at the end of lap number 1. He's already up into 13th place, so that is 3 championship points, Roger. It's a damage limitation for Jeff. He'll be hoping to get into the top 10 and then regroup and go again tomorrow.
And that's why you just never give up. I mean, if there's a red flag right now, then he's going to take his original grid spot. So these guys are, you can see Corey and Andy really trying to make a break here. Looks like they have about a second lead on Michael Gilbert. It's good to see Michael back toward the front. He's had a rough couple last races, so it's good to see him back where he belongs. Yeah,
it is absolutely. You see the 2 different styles from the 2 different riders, BMW versus Kawasaki, and we don't typically see Kawasaki in the last couple of years at the sharp end, but Andy De Brino, as you said, Roger, seemingly at the moment the only rider that is able to go with Corey Alexander, who clearly has a plan as he drifts through turn 9. This is a really committed opening couple of laps. Alexander wants to break the rest of the field.
Yeah, and also for Andy, being a local guy, you know, I think for him, he has a lot of experience around here. Last year he crashed in the race, so you know, I think if he can latch on and maybe make the break with Corey, he might not force the issue at the end of the race, but you can see now Corey opening up a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, Alexander now with a bit of an advantage. There is Michael Gilbert, Travis Wyman as well. And Travis is quick for sure as the leading riders, but the opening couple of laps just always seems just to lose a little bit on the first lap or 2, then regroup. So keep your eyes on the number 10 because, Roger, he is fast as the race progresses. We've seen that all season long.
Yeah, and then also right behind them, Hayden Gillam, you know, didn't get a very good start, so he's going to really have to try to make up some spots. Now the race record, Corey Alexander now not only has the outright track record last lap, 42.2, compared to the old racetrack record at 42.7.
Gilbert now down into 4th position because Travis Wyman, as I said, gets faster as the race goes on. He's now worked his way through into that 3rd position. So it's Alexander from De Brino, then we've got a bit of a gap, then it's Travis Wyman, there's Hayden Gillam, and there is Brandon Pash. Jason, what can you tell us about the Altus rider? This is a very strong showing. Good to see from Brandon Pash.
Well, we've been waiting for it the whole season. You got Pash, a 2-time winner of the Daytona 200, joining this Altus Suzuki team that won the title in this Stock 1000 class the last 2 years with Cam Peterson and Jake Lewis. And he said, yeah, I've been waiting for it too. I thought the combination of me and this bike would be winning right from the start. He said the biggest struggle for him is that he spent a lot of time racing in BSB, British Sport Bike, and he's used to Pirelli tires, and it has really been a difficulty getting used to the Dunlop. He finally found a tire he felt comfortable with yesterday, thought he was heading to a breakthrough, but Ezra Beaubier able to take the measure of him right now. So the breakthrough that he was hoping was coming might not quite be there yet for Pash.
And that was a great pass there by Ezra Beaubier. That was one of those corners where I was talking about where, you know, if you set up a pass like that, you can make it happen.
Corey Alexander, we haven't mentioned it yet today, Roger, but he was the double winner of both races last year. He likes this circuit, and it looks like it. There's the pit board, P1 plus 0.3. Across the line, it's now 1.1 seconds, another 1:42.4. Second fastest rider on track, though, is now Travis Wyman. He's almost half a second a lap now quicker than De Brino. Are we looking potentially at another title as BMW 1-2?
And you talk about Travis getting faster as the race goes. That last lap, he was only a 10th off what Corey did, so he definitely has the pace.
See the undulations. How many times do we say on the television the TV doesn't really show you the undulations? There's no mistaking there's undulations here. You can see that through the opening sector. It's a very technical circuit.
And I mean, even that little straightaway there is, you know, you can't see on the other side. So there's a lot of, you know, you got to find your marks and your markers at this track because there's so many blind spots. Even where they're at right now, see how much this track goes down right here, and you can see their front ends how it almost bottoms out.
Hayden Gillim, championship leader by 6 points over Travis Wyman. So Wyman at the moment would be on a 16-pointer. It'd be a 3-point lead, wouldn't it? Would it be 25, 20, 16, 13, 11, 5? In fact, it'd be 1 point.
Here goes
1 point.
See, that's exactly how Ezra did it the lap before. He set up wide, undercut him in the middle, and take the line.
Yeah, we are potentially looking, Roger, at going into tomorrow's race. If Corey Alexander wins this with maybe 3 guys separated by a point, that is how close Stock 1000 is. The Yuasa Stock 1000, one of the most competitive championships, and Hayden Gillim has now worked his way through into 4th place. Michael Gilbert in 5th. Brandon Pash still fighting hard with Ezra Bobier. Danilo Lewis started 9th. He's in 8th position as they come through to complete another lap. Still a solid ride this from Gilbert. He'll be happy with this. This is good progress.
On our screen, though, it's kind of showed that Ezra has dropped down to 11th. I'm not sure. Yeah, and I don't see him in the picture either.
Have we lost Ezra Bobier? We don't want to speculate. Yeah, he's now dropping down our timing screens as well. Has he had a moment somewhere on lap number 4? Because we do not see Ezra Bobier coming across the line. Jeff May has gone across the line in 11th place. What's his lap time? A 1:46.4. And Ezra Bobier is in the pits. Ezra Bobier pits from what was a top 6 finish. Oh, disappointment from Ezra Bobier. What a shame. As we pick back up with Jeff May, you can see his body language. It's not the usual aggressive style. As he said, that arm is hurting. He's just nursing it, but it's damage limitation, and he still looks fast.
Yeah, I mean, still really riding well and also injured. So he doesn't want to come out here and force the issue and throw it down again. I'm sure the bike is pretty close to good, but they didn't have enough time to really get this thing fixed up 100%.
Yeah, he's lapping a little bit quicker than the guys ahead of him. He's lapping a little bit quicker on that last lap than Nolan Lampkin and Hunter Dunham, but he's certainly not going to be a threat to Corey Alexander. Alexander now with a 1.4 second lead, and you've won races, you've led from the front. What Corey Alexander is doing is not easy.
Not at all, and this is part of the race where he used to struggle a little bit, going over the curb there a little bit into 13. You know, getting up to speed, and was kind of really fast at the end of the races, and now he's put it all together, and that's why he's winning all these races. He's very fast early, consistent all the way through.
Yeah, that gap, as you saw a couple of laps ago, was 0.3. It's now 0.8. That's the gap that they're giving him. Why would a team tell him that he's only got a 0.8 of a second when he's got a 1.9 second gap?
Well, I think sometimes different riders might slow down too much. You know, they might think that they see a big gap and they start to slow down and get out of the rhythm, and they just want him to kind of keep his head down.
Yeah, basically don't back off, because then you start making mistakes, you think about things and it can go wrong. So yeah, it could be true. Corey Alexander then, his last lap, a 1:42.7. Hayden Gillim on the last lap. We don't see him in shot. He passed Michael Gilbert a lap ago. His lap last time around, a 1:42.5. So currently the fastest rider on track is Hayden Gillim. He has a 0.4 of a second deficit to Travis Wyman. Looks like the closest fight is for 3rd, Roger.
And we've seen Hayden sometimes this year have issues on the start, and he actually turned off the launch control, I think, at the 2nd race at VIR, and I'm not sure what happened, but to go from the front row of the grid to 7th, obviously got a really bad start, or maybe he got shuffled in the chicane.
Corey Alexander, if you are just joining us, twice a winner this season in the Yuasa Stock 1000 Championship, 50 points. He's only 13 behind Hayden Gillim, so at the moment they would be level on points. And there's been an overtake. Up into 3rd place goes Hayden Gillim, the championship leader. 2 podiums this season, both of them have been victories. Is he heading for his 3rd podium with 3rd place here? We didn't see the overtake, but Hayden Gillim is on the move.
He is, and they're about 1.8 seconds behind Andy DeBrino and about 7/10 quicker. So if he's that much quicker, I think with 4 laps to go, he might be able to chase down 2nd.
And what it seems as though Travis Wyman wasn't able to match DeBrino. Now that Gillim's got ahead of him, Travis Wyman could do a really good thing here and just sort of latch onto the back of him and allow Hayden Gillim to close up, to put DeBrino under pressure with a 2-rider attack for that final podium.
That last lap, though, Andy DeBrino 42.9. Hayden was only a 10th quicker, so he's got to be able to make up a lot more time than that, because he's 2.2 seconds back.
Yeah, Hayden Gillim now just already with a 2 or 3 bike advantage, even in those first 5 or 6 corners over Travis Wyman. Gillim looking to consolidate his lead in the championship. round the long left-hander. Very different riding styles between the riders. We come back to the race leader, Corey Alexander. He's got a very unique style, but it certainly works for him. It always makes me sort of jump a little bit. Look how loose he is.
Yeah, and also he's a really tall guy, but he's also, you know, he's really awesome to watch because even though the bike is loose, he's pretty smooth rider and he's so consistent.
Let's go down to Jason Weigart. He's down there in the pit lane with the unfortunate Ezra Bobier. Jason, he'd fought his way through into the top 6. He was having a blistering ride, and now he's down there talking to you. What's gone wrong?
Yeah, that's a disappointment, talking to me instead of battling for top 5. Here's a little trivia for you folks. What's missing from that motorcycle? A foot peg. Ezra, what happened there?
Man, I got a great start. I was moving my way up from 10th on the grid. We made our way up to 6th, and I thought my foot slipped off coming out of turn 3, and then I went to grab, and there was nothing there. So huge bummer. After, I mean, that's the best I've ridden all weekend by far, and huge bummer. But we'll be back out there for the Superbike race later this afternoon.
You got the foot peg straightened. Definitely showing some strides there. Ezra Bobier was shooting for a top 5.
Yeah, absolutely shooting for the top 5. Great to see. And Roger, you don't see that often, but these things can happen. Anything can happen in racing. And the good thing for Ezra, he's going to be back out in the Superbike race, and he gets another 2 races tomorrow, showing that pace. He's going to be confident for a top 6 in this class tomorrow.
Yeah, I think for sure having 2 races is going to be so good for them because he was having his best race of the, you know, this weekend. He's kind of been out of the top 6 a little bit. It looked like he really kind of figured this place out, so I think that's going to give him some confidence tomorrow. I know it's going to sting now, but you know, he's learned something going into the Superbike race as well.
2.5 laps to go. Corey Alexander looking for win number 3. That would give him 75 points. It would move him certainly into second place in the championship, possibly the championship lead, depending on where Hayden Gillam will be. But there are great battles throughout this race. There is number 17, Hunter Dunham. He is the lead Yamaha, and he's got bits hanging off the side of the bike there. He's obviously being involved in some skirmish at early points, but good to see Hunter Dunham getting the best from the Yamaha. He's in a Yamaha battle here with Isaiah Davis, but Hunter Dunham getting faster and faster as the season goes on.
Yeah, and Isaiah looks like he was looking down as well, but for him, his first Stock 1000 race, you know, inside the top 10's got to be pretty good for him. It's going to be the best finish for that team as well.
Yeah, Hunter Dunham does a lot of work with Ethan Chaplock with his mental preparation, and it's got to be quite hard when you step into a category. You've had a couple of races where you're on the floor, things don't go right, but Hunter Dunham now working his way through into the top 8. This would be one of the best results for Hunter Dunham in the class. So again, more steady progress throughout this field.
And for him, just, you know, getting more experience as the year goes on. You see Andy DeBrino here now in second, and Hayden this last lap has closed that gap down to 1.4, so he definitely has a chance to maybe chase down Andy. But I think Andy has so much experience around here, he's going to be able to be pretty consistent.
Yeah, Andy DeBrino, at the moment, we're talking about him being a local specialist. He sits in P6 in the championship. He's only 22 points behind Hayden Gillam. He could be a title contender too.
He's another guy we talk about people being consistent. He hasn't, you know, really won a race this year, but he also hasn't made a lot of mistakes and always inside that top 5.
Yeah, for DeBrino, this would be his first podium of the season, and with 2 bites of the cherry here, it's a double race for the Yuasa Stock 1000s. If he could bag a couple of podiums, add 40 points or so onto the 41 that he's got, 81 points, he's right in contention as we head towards the half distance point in the championship starting at Laguna.
And we've seen other guys, Corey Alexander at Virginia missed both races because of a crash. Hayden Gillam at MotoAmerica, DNF. So you never know what can happen. You just got to keep finishing these races and fight till the end.
Fighting to the end. He hasn't been headed. He has led every single lap of this race, every single inch of this race. Down the waterfall for the penultimate time, Corey Alexander looking to give Titleist Racing BMW Ride HVMC their 3rd win of the season. The white flag then is waved across the line into the final lap. Heading down in towards the chicane. No mistakes. He didn't do an Alicia Spagaro and celebrate 1 lap too early. He's been watching the pit board. It's a 3-second advantage, and it is going to be the 3rd consecutive win here at this track. He remains unbeaten in Stock 1000 at the Ridge Motorsport Park. he likes this place, and he really does like it. 3 wins from 3 from Corey Alexander if he can just hang on for the next 50 seconds or so.
Yeah, and you know, Corey's just riding better now than he has throughout his whole career. I think he really likes the BMW and just has a lot of confidence, I think, and it just shows, you know, so fast in practice and qualifying. Doing really well in the Superbike races as well that he's doing, and, you know, just has a lot of momentum right now.
By my mathematics, and I wasn't very good at maths, he will be just 4 points behind the leader of the championship. The leader of the championship will still be Hayden Gillim. Travis Wyman, with these 13 points, will also be right in the mix. Halfway round the final lap, he is still lapping quicker than anybody else. It has been a Stock 1000 masterclass by the number 23, the blue numbers on the front of that bike, into the waterfall. He hasn't put a foot wrong. I don't want to commentate curse on him with a couple of corners to go, but this has been sublime from Corey Alexander. Roger Hayden.
Yeah, at this point, he knows how big his lead is. He's not going to make a mistake. He's got too much experience, and another win for Corey, and just keep getting himself closer to that championship battle. After spotting those guys 2 races at Virginia, he's made up a lot of points quick.
He has indeed. He is now back into contention. Corey Alexander wins the Yuasa Stock 1000 race. He takes the trophy and the 25 points, and he moves to within 5 points of the championship lead. Across the line goes Michael Gilbert. He's in 5th place. A congratulatory exchange there between De Brino. And here comes Jeff May. He has worked his way through into the top 10. These 6 points could make the difference at the end of the year, and I'm sure the fans around the circuit and those watching at home and us here in the commentary box, that is a solid ride from Jeff May. He deserves a huge pat on the back. You can see the fairing hanging off, bits of tape hanging off. 6 valuable and thoroughly well-earned points for Jeff May, Roger.
Yeah, I mean, that's just all you can ask for, being on the floor. And I mean, that crash he took was a huge hit on the left side, not only for him, but the bike. And you can tell his hand is sore, and just kind of managed what he could.
You can see just how hard that was. What a race, though, for Corey Alexander here at the Ridge.
MotoAmerica Stock 1000 coverage is sponsored by Yuasa Battery. It starts with us. And by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
Waving to the crowd, your first race winner of the day, a little wheelie as well. Celebrations for Tytler's BMW. Roger, that was a great race and a great way to reignite his championship challenge for Corey Alexander.
Yeah, great race. I mean, just really fast from the beginning, and, you know, kind of carried that speed he had from practice and qualifying. And, you know, like you said, he never made a mistake, got a nice gap, and just kind of controlled it from there.
The 3rd podium of the season for Hayden Gillim. Here's a look back if you are just joining us on MotoAmerica Live Plus. Where have you been? We saw drama before the opening race got underway. Jeremy Coffey getting it wrong, taking out one of the title contenders at the start of the warm-up lap. Thankfully, both riders okay. Jeff May sprinted back to the pits. There was some great work by the team. He made the restart, but when the lights went out proper, there was no stopping Corey Alexander. On that super race from the BMW.
And, I mean, shout out to Andy De Brino as well. I mean, he tried to go with Corey, but Corey just had a little bit more pace and, you know, was consistent. Travis Wyman was making his way through the pack. Michael Gilbert got a great start, but actually kind of fell back to 5th, but it was good to see him toward the front. And also Hayden Gillim had some issues early off the start, fell back a little bit, and then salvaged the podium.
Yeah, another podium. 3 podiums then this season for Hayden Gillim. Travis Wyman in 4th. So that means that we have Hayden Gillim, Travis Wyman, Jeff May, and Corey Alexander. The top 4 in the championship, all with 3 podiums this season. Now you see our race winner down in Parc Fermé, who'll be getting ready for the podium celebrations and, of course, interviews in a second. Here comes Andy De Brino, the local guy. Nice rev there from Andy DeBrino. Roger, he's going to be happy with that. You see what that means to him, his first podium of the year, and he puts himself in contention as well.
And not only that, just all the effort that he puts into it. You know, some of these races you see that the first day on Friday, he's his own mechanic and doing it all himself, transports his bike. So, you know, it's cool to see somebody put that much effort into it and be rewarded with the podium right here in front of his home track fans.
Hayden Gillam also gives congratulations, the two arch rivals on track, as we get a little look then at our first race results of the weekend. It was a race winner, just over 17 minutes of racing, a shortened 10-lap race. In the end, it was a 2.7-second win for Corey Alexander, who backed it off on the last lap. Hayden Gillam closing to within half a second in third. Travis Wyman, Michael Gilbert, Brandon Pash, Danilo Lewis. Hunter Dunham gets his best result of the season. And Nolan Lampkin, Roger, inside the top 10. Great result there for the number 21.
Yeah, really good result from him, just moving up to stock 1,000, getting his first top 10.
As we see the paragliders getting a bird's eye view of the circuit, our man down there is getting a podium bird's eye view. It's Jason with our race winner, Corey Alexander.
I don't even know if he had to break a sweat in this one. There's something about this track and this rider that really worked together. Corey Alexander, you dominated qualifying, you dominated the race. What is it about this track for you?
You know, I think it reminds me a little bit of the Northeast, you know. Obviously the scenery's kind of like that, and the track is tight and technical, and yeah, I think it suits my style. It's where I grew up. So, but yeah, it wasn't easy. My guys worked really hard. We showed up and we were fast, but you know where we're trying to go with this bike, we're constantly, you know, reinventing what we're doing and trying to make it even better. So, hats off to the whole Tyler Cycle Riders GMC team. It's my mom's birthday tomorrow, so hopefully I'm up here again tomorrow. But if not, happy birthday, Mom, and thanks to all our sponsors.
All right, those are the ones that count. We're on top, the 23, Corey Alexander.
Thanks, Jason, and a happy birthday to Mrs. Alexander tomorrow. Nice birthday present from Corey. That'll do.
Couldn't be a better birthday present.
Absolutely, Jason. Let's come back down to you. Who have you now got on the podium?
Hey, if you're going to pick a race to get up on the box, you do it at the home race. Andy DeBrino getting it done. Little local knowledge. Did that help you out there?
Yeah, you know, I've been racing here for years, but man, all these guys are so good, so that all kind of goes out the window. But it feels like I got the monkey off my back. You know, I've been gunning for this podium for a couple years. This class just continues to elevate and get really fast, and I've been working as hard as I can, training as hard as I can, and you know, I wasn't planning on doing the season, and here I am, and it just feels so dang good to get this done in front of my friends, family, my girlfriend, and home track crowd. It's unreal. I'm so excited, and I just got to give a huge thanks to my dad and Eric Dorn, EDR Performance, and Precision Ironworks, a local steel fabricator in Washington, for helping me out so I can be here. It's been an incredible ride, and I'm just so relieved.
Hey, that's the emotion of getting that first podium of the year, and who knows, could be a contender for the title, Andy DeBrino.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. As Andy said, he wasn't even planning on doing the full season, but he is now, and he's put himself absolutely into contention for the title with his first podium of this season. Let's go down into the podium once again for our third place with a special little guest down there. Hello, buddy.
All right, yeah, becoming a television star here, absolutely. Hayden Gillam, I know you struggled with starts this year, but you said that was on you, and you made it hard for yourself.
Yeah, I'm having to turn all the electronics off for the start, and I went to go turn it back on once we got going, and I accidentally hit the pit limiter button, so it made the bike fall flat on its face. But took a minute to get going. We made some changes with the bike that felt a little different than this morning, so it just took me a minute to get going. Once I got going, I had good pace. I know I could have ran with those boys, but with it being a little bit shorter race too, I just ran out of time. So tomorrow we'll get a better start. Hopefully slow this guy down, and maybe not let the hometown hero have so much podium time.
Should be a good one tomorrow. We'll be looking for a rematch as a points leader tries to get some back on these boys on Sunday.
Thanks, Jason. And it's becoming a bit of a trend now, seeing fathers with their sons or daughters down there in the podium. Maybe a future mini cup champion. You never know, Rog.
Definitely comes from some pretty good genes.
Absolutely, absolutely. The podium, of course, getting underway in a few seconds' time. Three very happy guys down there in the podium. Corey Alexander gets himself into position. Andy DeBrino down there as well. And of course, these guys, if you enjoyed that race, they get to do it all again tomorrow. Big smiles from the Tytlers cycle racing rider. And Jason double dutying like I normally do as well. A lot of work down there. Changes the microphones, and we'll get ready for our podiums.
I was like, oh, come on. We're ready. Third place.
There is Hayden Gillam with a future MotoAmerica champ down there. Looks very happy with what his dad's just achieved. Look at him. He's loving the limelight, isn't he, Roger? What a little smasher. Yeah, now he's going to bring a little wave as well as our podium gets underway. Hayden Gillam then in third position. A nice round of applause from the crowd. And there's a big crowd here, Roger.
Huge crowd. I wasn't really expecting to see so many people as I pulled in this morning. So they're in for a treat. They're going to see some great racing, and it's started out pretty good so far.
Yeah, it has indeed. There's lots to look forward to here on MotoAmerica Live Plus. That was Stock 1000s. We've got Super Sport, Medallia's Superbike, Sport Bike Track Gear Junior Cup, their first race, Twins Cup as well. Stay with us on MotoAmerica Live Plus. Michael Hill, Jason Weigand, and Roger Hayden will be back after this.